As we get ready to go for an extremely important Cleveland Browns season, in the offseason, we just search for a little bit of news, right? This team didn't have the massive shakeup. They didn't bring in a new quarterback. Bring in a new OC, sure, but there's still questions surrounding the quarterback, as we know, when it comes to Deshaun Watson. Number one might be his shoulder, right? He had this break, he had this surgery, had all this kind of stuff, and everybody wants their opportunity to see him throw, but oh wait, you're not going to throw today in front of the media. He did throw yesterday. We saw some video. I feel like everybody's breaking it down like the Zapruder film. How's his zip look, Ryan? And of course, the Browns are going to guard him from throwing today to basically avoid the zip conversation. But I've gotten to a place and a point when it comes to Deshaun Watson's shoulder that I'm going to let everybody know about, because I'd like you to join me over on the side that I have when it comes to Deshaun Watson and his shoulder injury as we get ready to go for the Browns offseason, training camp, and then eventually the regular season. So we got plenty of Browns to get to. We got Noah Weiskopf joining us at 10. Guards! It's scrappy. It's a roller coaster. See what happens when I give Barlow a little bit of credit? That's okay. Nonetheless, guards find a way to get the win yesterday. Curry gets called up. Can we get those hyper trains done, please? Not only so I can just go down to Columbus and see my friends, so when the Guardians got to call up a spot starter, they can just get on the train and get his ass up here. But nonetheless, a real big win for the Guardians. Can they complete the sweep this afternoon? We'll get to our Typico boost coming up. Cavs, well, it's today the day. I feel like every morning we're like, it's today the day. You know, the potential impending news. Could it come today for the Cavs? Their search for the head coach. NBA playoffs kicking off last night with the Eastern Conference Finals. Got the Western Conference. We'll get our bets with that with Typico coming up. We'll get to the grid. We'll get to timeout. We'll get to a college quarterback suing a school they didn't even go to. That all comes your way this morning right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. A very good Wednesday morning to you. We got guards coming up. We'll get to the Browns as well. Mixing some college stuff. And again, I'm really excited to talk to Noah at 10 o'clock. It is just OTA. They're out there. We saw some clips from yesterday. Watson not going to throw today. We'll get to that coming up. But I want to start with the guards. First off, that win yesterday is a lot of the things that we have discussed about this team. They're scrappy. They fight, right? Like, even in a game like that where it was kind of sloppy, it wasn't a great game, a lot of runs scored. You had to get Xavier Curry up here. Thought he pitched just fine. It was the bullpen that kind of gave it up. But still, you get the win. And that got me coming back to this because I saw the attendance for yesterday, Ryan. That was 20,000 people there on a Monday. I'm sorry, Tuesday. A Tuesday night. And I know where the Guards are at. The weekends are usually fine, right? Sunday's the kids' day. They do the pregame in the district on Fridays and Saturdays. And I've always given the Guardians a lot of credit for trying to be creative on getting people to the ballpark. Where they struggle, Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. That's where a lot of mid-market teams really struggle with their attendance. Bro, the Guardians are knocking, this is a bad pun, don't yell at me. They are knocking it out of the park right now. Ryan just puts his head down and shakes. I'm sorry, I couldn't come up with something better. They're doing a great job on getting people down there. In part, obviously, because they're winning. And we're starting to feel people, and I want to bring this question up because I want to put it out for the people this morning. We'll do it at Matt Fontana Show. How many Guardians games do you plan on attending this season? And you can add in games that you maybe have already gone to. And I'll leave it up to you, Ryan. I think 0 should be an option. I want to just see that. 1 to 3, 5 plus, or 10 or more. Somewhere around there, right? Do something like that. Because I want to see, my wife and I, and the reason I bring this up, my wife and I just got our first tickets of the year. And we're taking our kids. I'm super excited to go in a couple of weeks. But now the conversations are being had with our friends also coming from Columbus, and they don't have hyper trains to get up here, so they have to drive. But like 2 are friends from Columbus. They want to come up. They want to go to a game in June. My brothers and I talking. We want to get going to a game a little bit later in the year. The momentum is starting to pick up, I think, for a lot of people jumping on these tickets. And with how well the Guardians have played, I saw the stat yesterday. I think Tom Withers had and a few other people. The Guardians have now won 32 games. Bro, they didn't do that until the end of June last year. They didn't do that for another month. And here we are, 32-17? Also, Reflog had to take a shot at the Royals. I saw that. Because the Royals are off to their best start, I think, in franchise history, as far as through 50 games or whatever it is. Of course, Reflog had to poke the bear and go, well, yeah, they're still a game and a half behind us. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a dogfight the rest of the summer. But I think that comes back to the fans' involvement. With the Guardians, baseball is always one side of it. The other side is the stuff we don't like talking about, the Dolan's ownership and the money and then the attendance. And you see attendance in baseball is up across the board. This is actually one of their best years they've had in a long time across the league. And I think you have your star teams doing well, but even some of the other teams that maybe struggle to draw. I'm sure there's people going to what is it Paul Skeens or Skenis or what?
Skeens, I think.
Skeens, Livy Dunn's boyfriend.
Bro.
Sorry. A little more famous than, he got $9 million like as a signing bonus, but it is what it is.
He's
filthy,
disgusting.
man. He's so good. To be able to just to chuck it like that fast with that movement too. Is it bad that I'm like, when's he gonna get Tommy John? Is that not an impending fear for almost every pitcher now? Just eventually they're gonna have to get it. But even teams like that, there's a draw now when they have young players. Jonathan Rodriguez, Major League debut. Congratulations to him yesterday. I can go no further without shouting out David Fry. Dude, that guy, I don't actually want him to become an everyday player, Ryan, because I think you would lose the magic of David Fry. Pinch hit, twice a week starts. He just kills it, man.
Me, Nick, Jack, and Robbie, and the other 2 interns last year, we've been hip to David Fry.
Oh, dude. We
were at Pittsburgh when he hit a home run like last summer, and we were shouting him out. We've been on his train for a while.
And then Zach Meisel had to tweet, the guy you gave up for him to the Brewers, he's suspended for a second PED violation, 162 games. And in the 13 innings he had pitched prior to that, gave up 13 earned runs. What a steal. Yeah. What an absolute steal, David Fry. Jose Ramirez, dude. That guy, the way he worked that count to then just slap a home run on out, he's so fun to watch. And I think that all comes back to our question about how many games you plan on going to. Like, I love baseball. That was my first love. I wanted nothing more than to become a Major League Baseball player. I got to semi-professional. That's as far as I made it. It's not a high bar, trust me. So I love the game. And I would at least get to a couple of games a year. Now we got kids. I can't tell you. And this is, again, coming from a baseball fan. Bro, I can't tell you last time I was this excited to go to a game. Yes, I'm taking my kids, my wife, like we're excited to go in a couple of weeks. But that was really the genesis of our first question this morning. How many games do you plan on attending this season for the Guards? And I want you to add in games that you've already gone to. You know, if you're going 5 or over, you go, Matt, I've already been to 5. All right, good, vote that. Maybe you're going to more. I want to see where it's at. I think I'm in that 1 to 4 range just with the kids and stuff like that. But the excitement, the groundswell around this tweet, I love it, man. It feels so good to go. So I just wanted to see how many games you're going to go to. Ryan, how many are you planning on at this moment?
I've been to 1 so far.
All right.
And I can't imagine that I will go to more than 4 more.
That's an ask.
So
yeah.
I would say I'm definitely in the 1 to 4 range.
All right, there you go. So vote on that at Matt Fontana's show. Just want to see where the Guards are. Give them a little love this morning as they are trying to close out the Mets this afternoon, 1 o'clock. We do have our boosts that we'll get to. We put them alike on Carrasco yesterday. I don't know what to say.
You'll appreciate this,
Yeah.
Alex. Used to be a quarter season ticket holder.
Sure.
2 kids later, and I'll be happy to get to 2 to 3 games.
Welcome to life, man. You and I, Alex, you and I on the same boat, man. That happens. And I know there's a lot of people that quarter season plan works. What's that ticket that they have about you go for every game for a month? It's like $30 or whatever, and you get tickets for pretty much standing room tickets for every game.
The ballpark pass.
That's it, the ballpark pass. I think it's another great idea from the Guardians. So I'm happy to see that their play is now equating to some fans getting in there, watching this baseball team, respecting this team, and it's going to be a lot of fun. What?
Steven says, not spending money on a ticket until I can watch them in my own living room.
There's the Bally's thing, too. Can I? All right, we got to
tweet.
talk Browns. We'll get to that in a second.
That's a good tweet.
We are sitting down the third baseline and the Nets. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to the game with my 1-year-old daughter, my 3-year-old son, and my wife. I don't want a screamer coming down there. I get it. But I got to stare through the Nets the whole game. And I get the safety of the fans, and maybe that has helped people go to games because you feel more protected. Those are great seats. Third baseline, first baseline, those are great seats for a ball game. I got to stare through that freaking net the whole time. Not looking forward to that, but I'm excited to go to the game coming up in just a little bit. Excited for the Browns. OTAs today. I see the game, Cleveland Browns. I see what you're doing. Deshaun Watson's not going to throw today during the media portion of the availability. So I misspoke yesterday because I'm an idiot. Browns have OTAs for the next 3 weeks. The media will be in every Wednesday. For some reason, I thought it was 3 days this week, but no. And I've been doing this long enough, I should know. It's every Wednesday over the next 3 weeks. And it is come out, the report has come out. He threw yesterday. We saw a video of it, and he's not going to throw today as part of this rehab plan. I think the Browns, and I'm not ripping them for it. I just think it's funny. They're avoiding this zip conversation. They're avoiding putting too much the cart before the horse here. And I understand that Watson's coming off a real serious shoulder injury, the broken glenoid bone that we don't know anything about as far as the quarterback and how he's going to throw and all that other kind of stuff. But I've gotten to a point with Deshaun Watson's shoulder. And I think I'm no longer giving the benefit of the doubt, I guess. I don't care about his shoulder injury anymore. I don't. And I believe that things are on track, which is great. You got to always leave room that there's a setback, which I hope doesn't happen. But at this point of the offseason, and really what I'm going to carry up until the regular season, I don't care about his shoulder. It doesn't mean that I don't want the rehab to go well. They can focus on that. I am so singularly focused on Watson's play. The injury does not factor in anymore for me. I'm glad it's going well. I'm glad it's healing. And I got to tell you, I'm happy to see that he's throwing here in May. And maybe that's the reason that I've now jumped to this where I don't want to hear any more about the injury. He's throwing. Whether or not it's 60-yard throws, if it's short stuff, if it's just getting him back, good. Don't want to hear about it anymore. I'm done. Because this season, as we all know, is just about Watson's play. That is the biggest issue facing the Browns, what we all want to find out. The whole future of the Browns franchise hangs in the balance of Deshaun Watson playing well. He needs to be healthy. Sure, understand that completely. I believe he is healthy. I'm just worried about his play right now. I don't want to hear any more about his shoulder. If anything, I'm a little more worried about Nick Chubb's knee, right? Like, I've seen some of the video of him running. I've talked to some people that are in the building. They said he's doing his rehab. He's taking all these steps. That is the injury I'm more concerned about. That is the one that I'm going to keep an eye on, or at least try to pick some things up. Watson's shoulder, I'm done. Do what you need to do. You're throwing in OTAs, great. I expect him to be full go for training camp, and then I can just put this all to bed and focus in on what we know needs to happen. He's got to return to form. There is no warm-up for this season. There is no getting back in the saddle here. There's no more. I'll tell you this. I don't even want to hear anything about Ken Dorsey. People ask a million questions about the play calling and who's going to run this or what are we going to look like on offense. I don't care. I need one thing. That is Deshaun Watson to play well. All that other stuff is just noise to me. And all the rest of it, I'm going to set aside. And I'm going to push that to the side to see what's he looking like in training camp and what do we have when we kick things off against the Dallas Cowboys. That's it. That's all I care about. And I think joining that side of things will be a lot easier for a lot of Browns fans. I love this town for a lot of reasons. We love this team. People, any little piece of news they jump on, right? The fans find stuff on podcasts before even we do, right? Oh, he was here. We watched it. He said this. Ooh, there's these reports coming out over here. We have a thirst for knowledge when it comes to our team. And you would think your starting franchise paid quarterback has a massive shoulder injury that's kind of unknown. We'd be turning over every little stone, right? A lot of people did. We'll interview orthopedic surgeons and we'll discuss this with doctors on what they think. I'm over it. And it's not, I'm not really even coming from a negative standpoint. It's that if he's throwing, I'm believing that he's on pace. He's in a good spot. He'll be ready to go for training camp. I got no other excuses for it, Ryan. It's completely aside from me now. Completely aside from me.
So we're getting to that point where we're really creeping up towards the season. OTAs kick off this week, and we talk about it. Obviously, the Browns season is hinging upon how well Deshaun Watson plays. That's no question. So let me ask you this. What does a successful season for Deshaun Watson look like?
So that's the yin and the yang, right? You assume that if he plays well, you're going to win a lot of games, right? And the team success will always be more important. Now, the ideal thing would be team success while Deshaun Watson's throwing for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns, right? I get that.
5 touchdowns.
It'd be nice, right? Now, that's probably the best stat line I could try to come up with. The change, though, here's what I think a lot of fans, they sometimes fall in this trap where we used to always go, hey, it's not just the quarterback. It's the offense. It's the offensive line. It's the pass catchers. It's all Watson. It's all Deshaun Watson. And the rest of that noise that I'm talking about is what I have no more time for. And I have to be honest, part of the reason that I'm here in this situation that I'm currently in is because I've seen 2 years of bad football from him, and I got no more excuse. I got no more time. You mean everybody know that if Deshaun Watson plays well this year, we're going in this direction. If he doesn't, we're taking a hard left. We're going this way.
So you think there's no way that Deshaun could play well and then the team around him falters?
Well, yeah, that's if the defense, somehow maybe they get figured out. I'm putting a lot on Jim Schwartz. Sure, the pass catchers, did you forget, not you, but I'm just saying, you got to remind yourself Jerry Jeudy is here. They did plenty to help that offense out a little bit there. It's all on, I will watch games every single time Deshaun Watson drops back, and I'm just going to be staring at that. Is he making the right reads, making the right throw? And again, it's a means to an end. Is he making the right plays to win football games? They're not going to go 17-0. Do you see somebody put a bet on the Steelers to go 17-0? They only put $10 on it.
The Steelers?
Yeah. $10 to win $7,000 to go 17-0. I thought the odds would be a little longer than that, but
yeah.
Put your money where your mouth is. $10 is nothing. Come on now. They ain't going 17-0. They're going to lose games. And there might be games that he looks great and you give up a special teams touchdown, defense gives up, whatever. I don't know. That's how it goes. And there will be other sides of it that Watson doesn't play all that well, but the defense, you win. That's the team game. It's I hate to say that it's more about Watson than it is the team. Because when I look at the Browns 5 years from now, right? 3 years from now, on where this team is, your answer has got to be what Deshaun Watson is going to be this year. I would never make the statement that his play is more important than wins, because it's not, but you got to find out about him. We've said that over and over and over again. We know this season is about one thing, winning, and then Deshaun Watson's play. Because they've got to have to make this decision. Are we riding this out with him, or we got to pull the ripcord here? That is going to be a decision after this season, whenever that is. I hope it's sometime in February after we win the Super Bowl, and then you'll have your answer. But nonetheless, you will make that decision. Are you going to ride this out with him with the money, or are you going to try to find your way out? We've had a lot of discussions about the money restructure. I think they did the right thing by not doing it yet. I wouldn't do it. You got to ride this for now. And I don't want to hear about a shoulder. I don't want to hear about a shoulder. I thought about this as a Twitter question. I'll leave it up to you at Matt Fontana's show. Are you at all concerned about Deshaun Watson's shoulder? Has this become something that is now completely secondary? It's on the back burner. You don't worry about it at all. You know where I'm at. I'm not worried about it. I'm not thinking about it. I don't care about it. That's it. And I will not, maybe a good thing the Browns aren't having him throw today so people can get this film and they can rip through it and watch this and zip and how's he look. Yeah, I get it. I'm just going to operate. Things are going well. Tell me if they're not and call me when we're ready to go for training camp. That's it. That's it. We've got no setbacks at this point. Good. Shoulder's done. It's healthy. I'm assuming they're not going to put him back out there unless it's fully healthy. And maybe I am putting too much on the belief that this shoulder is not going to be a nagging injury, or this is not something that he's going to linger with for the majority of the year. Everything I've heard is we're good to go. So that's how I'm going to go with, and I don't want to hear anything else. I just got to wait another 5 months to get ready to go for the season. No less than that. But still, get to training camp, get into the regular season. It all comes back to Deshaun Watson.
I mean, we're not afforded any more time. That's the difference.
That's exactly my point. I'm done. I'm done waiting, man. I'm done hanging out and waiting. And the Browns have pieced this together, especially last year, which was a great run and a lot of fun. I'm out of time. I have no more time for Deshaun Watson. It's not his fault that he got hurt, okay? The first year it was his fault. The second year, he got hurt. Not his fault, right? It doesn't change how I feel. I got no more time. I'm not waiting around anymore. I'm not sitting here saying, well, if he just turns it around, or, week 7 coming, all right, he's had 6 bad games, but here we go. I'm out of time. I'm done. I'm done waiting. And I leave that door very much open that Watson returns to form. There are some people that are just blinded by that. And they're like, well, of course, Matt, of course he's going to return to form. Okay. I wish I had your optimism. I need to see it. I need tangible. Look, did you watch the second half of the ball? Yes, I did. I saw it. I saw little glimpses. That's the only reason that door is still available. Bro, if he didn't have that second half against Baltimore, that Tennessee game, we'd be singing a different tune today. I'd be out. I'd be done. I'm not there yet. Not there yet. I'm out of time.
If Deshaun Watson falters this season, next season we know we finally get our first round pick back.
At least you got that.
Do you consider taking a quarterback?
Yeah, you have to. We talk about this a lot with the Cavs, and you watch how the playoffs go. If you do not have a star player in the NBA, you're wasting your time. If you don't have a quarterback in the NFL, you are wasting your time. And I don't even want to go down that path of what it looks like if they got to bail on Watson. The only thing I will say on that, you have to go rookie quarterback. You know what? Because my gut wanted to say, I want a Kirk Cousins type, right? Like a veteran guy that can step right in and play, because this team is built. But we know in the NFL, your best bet is to find your next CJ Stroud. Your best bet is to find a rookie on his short deal, because then again, the Watson money still factors in all that. I don't want to think about it. And that's like, oh my God. It's going to be a job for Andrew Berry. It's not going to be easy. I'm out of time. Now it's go. And again, the money, the draft picks that we don't really have to think about anymore, they're gone. Don't worry about it. We get it back. That's fine. I think the Browns have to take the same idea, the same ideology. Just say, we are out of time. And what you do this season will tell the tale. New offense, I hope that helps. New playmakers, great. It's all here. It's all on right now. So with this OTA, and I'm sure there'll be a litany of questions to Kevin Stefanski today about his shoulder. Watson, I don't know if he'll speak. I doubt it. He might. Who knows? I got nothing left for the shoulder.
All right, Matt, I got a little game for you.
Okay, please.
I'm going to run through a list of
games.
quarterbacks, and you're going to tell me, would you trade them out for Deshaun Watson right now?
Right now, today.
And that means you don't get to see this season of him.
That's fine.
Obviously, okay? And obviously, you're sticking, then hopefully this would be your quarterback for the next at least couple of years.
Sure. Like right now, today, with where we're at. Go ahead.
Rapid fire. We'll get through the ones that I know are going to be yeses.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Stafford.
Yeah.
Tua.
Yes.
Goff.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like him away from Kyle Shanahan, but sure.
CJ Stroud.
Yes.
Mahomes.
Yes.
Kirk.
Sure.
Jordan Love.
Yes, I love Jordan Love.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Baker.
Blood
money. Talking about blood money.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence.
Who's had the better 2 years of the
No,
past 2 years? Baker Mayfield.
You're right. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
No.
Fields.
Yes. You know where I'm at with Justin Fields. You know what? Take that back. No, not Justin Fields.
Russ.
No.
Derek Carr.
No.
Kyler Murray.
Maybe.
Will Levis.
No.
Aiden O'Connell.
No.
Pickett.
No.
All right, so now we're getting to the nose.
Okay.
That was an astounding amount of yeses, though.
It's a lot. Well, I mean, you're basically doing the power ranking, right? And a lot of places have him somewhere between 18 and 20. That's not good enough. That's not. And again, the door is there for him to send back. And the other thing, I'm not asking him to be the second best quarterback in the league. I truly believe a top 12 quarterback is all you need. Now, the thing is, and exactly the exercise you just did, you could do a culmination of the past 5. Like that ranking had Mahomes wear down at 6 or 7 or something like that. Yeah. We know he's number 1 based off of what he's done for the past 5 years. We're talking about him being number 1. There's no question. That obviously was a ranking off of what? Probably last year.
Yeah, it was.
I just need a top 12 guy on any given year. This season, all I need is the 11th best quarterback. That's always been my mark.
Okay.
Is 12. Top 12 gets you to the playoffs, and then it's wide open, in my opinion. Once you make it, on any given year, you just need a top 12 guy. Now, you want to have the third best guy. You want to have somebody that can transcend it, sure. Then the other team game comes in. I just need, on any given season, Deshaun Watson to be a top 12 quarterback. Some years might be 5, some years might be 10. That's fine. Just be consistent in that top 12. That's all I need. And even for this season, that's it for me. Then I'll look at the defense. Then I'll look at the rest of the team and say, well, what are you doing? On any year, you just need a top 12 guy. There's a window and certainly a world that he gets back to that. But it has to be now. I'm out of time.
Okay, I'm going to play really devil's advocate right now.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
You have to pick today, as we stand right now, going into next season. You can either have Deshaun Watson, who certainly has, I'd say, more ambiguity towards him, or right now, Baker Mayfield. Just for next season.
Just for this season coming up.
This season right now. Because you don't know the future Deshaun, but you maybe get a floor with Baker.
See, that's the other thing.
Is Baker good enough with this roster to go to the Super Bowl? Or is his ceiling capped?
I think so. I very famously said a long time ago that I thought Baker Mayfield could win a Super Bowl with the Browns. He would do it as the 10th best quarterback in the NFL with the defense that you have with the
This roster today is better than what Baker has.
But now you're getting into, I have paid so much. It's like I have so much equity built up with Deshaun Watson where I want to see it finally pay off. We have gone through these 2 years. We've waited and waited. I almost want to sit back, kick my feet up, crack a garage beer, and either watch us go to the playoffs or watch this go down in flames. I've done this, we've been so involved in this, gone through the suspension, gone through the injury. I want to see this play out. I want to see where it is. But the thing is, the finish line is now. It's now. It's this season is it. That will tell. And the worst thing would be is if he is just mediocre. If he's middle of the road, I'm then still making that move. Unless, again, he gets me to top 12 status. And again, you can look at stats or QBR wins or however you want to do. Use your eye test. Use your eye test, right? You know Patrick Mahomes' top 12 guy. You know Dak Prescott is. You know Lamar is. get to that top 12. That's it. And then maybe we'll have a different conversation. He's 17, he's 20, we're done.
All right, take quarterback out of it. How many teams in the NFL right now are you taking the Browns over the Browns roster? Take quarterback totally aside, doesn't matter.
I mean, again, breaking...
To me, though, there's only maybe one or two teams.
Well, our roster is stacked. The defense is stacked. The receiving core is better. The one big thing is running back, because if you had a healthy Nick Chubb, I think we're singing a different tune.
Yeah, but that doesn't sway me, really.
I'm concerned about that with the running back and the offensive line, mostly because we lost Bill Callahan, then the injuries, then not having Nick Chubb. Like, that's a big part. And you want to know what? That's fine. Put it back more on Deshaun Watson. If you have to go out there and throw it 35 times a game, which I know people that cringe at that, hey, man, that's today's NFL. And if those throws help you get a semblance of who Deshaun Watson is or isn't, do it. I want to win games, sure. I think your best way to win is putting it on Deshaun Watson. This isn't Nick Chubb anymore. This isn't the offensive line anymore. This is squarely on Watson. It is. And that's where people that want to really defend Watson, they would say, well, Matt, the shoulder. How can you put all that on the shoulder? Because I'm out of time and I don't care anymore. I don't. It's a big boy league. It's big boy time. Get after it. And I hope it works out. I hope it goes well. Now, our optimism for the Browns are not felt by somebody at CBS Sports. So we flip over to Will Brinson. And Will went through all the divisions. And he talked about the over-under win total. And yesterday, he did the AFC North. We scroll on down. Now, here's the other thing. The headline of his article is, quarterbacks will tell the story for the AFC North. You think? His point is, Burrow coming off of injury, Watson coming off of injury, you don't know what the Steelers are doing, and Lamar Jackson trying to beef up and come back for the MVP, right? So that's where we're at. We scroll down for the win totals of every team. For the Cleveland Browns, it is set at over-under 8.5. And by the way, the over is the favorite at minus 130. I'm going to read you Will's write-up on the Browns talking about Watson before I tell you his pick. He says, on the surface, everything in Cleveland comes down to Deshaun Watson. Can he perform at a Pro Bowl level for the first time since being traded to the Browns? I think it's more interesting to wonder how the run game works, just talking about that, with Bill Callahan leaving and Nick Chubb coming off his injury. Jerome Ford is capable, but the run game will take a step back, and if Watson doesn't step forward, the offense might struggle to get going, even with Jerry Jeudy added to Amari Cooper and David Njoku. Defensively, Jim Schwartz's unit has the personnel to maintain its success from last year, but the Browns' struggles defensively on the road are a red flag for consistency in 2024. Cleveland is dealing with the same issue as Pittsburgh. Its final 4 games are the Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, and Raiders. The Browns and Steelers play each other before that final 4-game stretch too. And he says those two, talking about the Browns and the Steelers, might control the AFC wildcard race. The Browns drastically outperformed their win differential and went 6-2 in one-score games a year ago. They profile as a prime step-back team, especially if you don't want to believe that Watson... Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I misread that. He's priming them as a step-back team. And he says, especially if you don't believe in Watson returning to form. Ryan, Will Brinson picks under 8.5 wins for the Browns.
Yeah. That's pretty low. I mean, if you go look at who's he having them lose to down the stretch, because you look at those first 4 games.
He didn't do the rest. Okay, but here's the thing. Then I go to the rest of the AFC North, and I think maybe he's got a bunch of overs there. No, he's got the Steelers under 8.5. He does have the Bengals over 10.5, and he also has the Ravens over 11.5.
Over 11.5?
11.5, yeah. Over 11.5. And again, I know we've done a lot of the strength of schedule where the Ravens are really tough, and obviously we are too. That's in part because we do play each other, and we both had really good records on that. And the AFC North got a really hard draw. You got the NFC East, Cowboys, Eagles, and we have the AFC West, right, as the division that we all have to play. Then you mix in the other added teams. We know the Browns' schedule is really tough. So, I mean, here's the thing. You know at least 2 teams in the AFC North are going to get 10 wins, right? It's really hard to find divisions unless they really cannibalize themselves. Every division will have at least 2 10-game winners. I don't think it's outlandish to say, yeah, it's Baltimore and Cincinnati. They would be the favorites on that. But then you're talking about 9-8, 8-9 for the Browns. You're missing. You ain't making it. You're not doing that. And Brinson taking the under, I think that's a little, I mean, I don't know, man. It is a really hard schedule. The nice thing about that stretch of football at the end of the season, you can ease Watson back in. Again, here I am talking about this season. I'm out of time when it comes to Watson. Those important games are later in the year where you're going to give him every opportunity. You're going to, and really, this is one of my favorite things about the schedule. Okay, you come out with a good game against Dallas. That's a tough game. Then you get a little stretch there of games that you potentially should win. Maybe get the mo back, get a little momentum back, get some flow. Then you get into a tough stretch getting into your bye, and then you finish it out when you should be playing your best football. When it comes to those 4-game stretch, and God, I hope we're still relevant by the time we get to that at the end of the season, every excuse will be out the door. Unless he gets injured again. And if he gets injured again, I'm going to feel the same way that I would as if he can't play and he sucks. It's time to go. It's time to go. And I don't want to have those debates. I will probably just take vacation, Ryan, about the worst trade in NFL history. I actually don't even care about any of that. I don't care about the shoulder. I don't care about the money anymore. As long as they don't restructure him, keep that open for moving on. I don't care about any of this bull crap anymore. He's got to play well. You know that. You know that. I know that. He knows that. Browns know that. That's where we're at. There's literally no other course of action. And if there is, then you got to flip and make your decision. But under on the 8.5. All right, which of the two were you more shocked by? Ravens. Again, this is Will Brinson on CBS Sports. Over Baltimore 11.5, over Cincy 10.5. You have to place a bet on one of those two. Which one would you take?
Which one would I take?
You have to take Cincy over 10.5 or Baltimore over 11.5.
I'll take Cincy over 10.5. I mean, winning 12 games is tough.
12-5.
Especially winning 12 games back-to-back seasons.
I always try to put this stink on Lamar and the Ravens, and they always stick it back to me. We're like, oh, here's this downtrodden year. Like, they're due for a step-back year.
Lamar's getting skinny.
Well, he did. He lost weight down to 205. Didn't like where he was at. Sure. Okay, fine. And that Ravens, how many guys they lose in free agency and all that kind of stuff. The defense is not quite what it was, but it is still Lamar Jackson. Then with Cincinnati, that wrist injury, which everybody's keeping an eye on to see how that goes. I wonder if the same. Okay, so here's a great question. We might have to ask the Cincinnati guys on this. Are they the same way in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow's wrist injury? Like, are they just not worried about it? Because I don't get that vibe. I feel like they are very concerned about it. And it's because they know that Joe Burrow is their guy. And there's no question he's going to be there for another 10 years. Like, it would take, what would you say, Ryan? 3 horrible years for Joe Burrow for them to even start considering getting rid of him, right?
Yeah.
Here we are with Deshaun Watson. It's on the line right now. It's because he has built up. It's because he's shown. It's because he's been to a Super Bowl. So they're entrenched. They're all in. So they have no choice but to wait this out. And I guess they also have no choice but to be worried about it. You get what I'm saying? Like, they know it's Joe Burrow, so they can spend their time worried about the wrist injury. Me? I'm wide open. I know that the whole future is unwritten for the Browns. That's why I don't really care about the shoulder injury anymore. I hope he's healthy because I just don't want that to be a factor. As much as I need Watson to play well, I don't want the injury to be a thing again because you're back into that gray area. You're back into this, well, what if, or if he couldn't have done this, or if he had battled this. I'm talking, dude, he could twist his ankle running out for the pregame. I can't have that because I need an honest evaluation of Deshaun Watson this year. An honest evaluation is it's like we're running an experiment, right? What was it in school? Variables. I need no variables for this experiment that I'm about to run, right? And you might say the shoulder's a variable, Ken Dorsey's a variable, not having Nick Chubb is a factor. I remove all of that. I do. It's maybe unfair of me to do, but I'm going to do this in a vacuum. Sorry, I was just we had NFL news. Steelers they're cautiously optimistic they're going to get the 2026 draft. They were one of the teams we just mentioned yesterday. on that rotation of teams to get the draft versus the Super Bowl. But sorry, I digress. All those variables are out the door for me. I got no time for it. I got no want for it. So our Twitter questions are up at Matt Fontana Show. First up, we were asking everybody, how many Guardians games do you plan on attending this year? Because it's exciting. They're starting to play well. We'll see how it goes. But the next question, are you still concerned about Deshaun Watson's shoulder? Yes or no? I'm voting no. I've got no time for it. Ryan, please cast your vote.
I mean, of course, I'm always going to be a little concerned, but at the same time, there's nothing my concerns do. Because like you said, if he does go out and get injured, or even if it's a factor in his play, I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit here and debate whether, okay, we roll him out next year, or do we try and find our future plans?
Well, okay, so here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. You're right. You or me sitting here worrying about it doesn't fix Deshaun Watson's shoulder. It's not like we set a microbot in there, like Tony Stark, and he goes in and fixes his shoulder. I get where you're at. You're right. The question is, how does it impact your thought, like your evaluation? And you're right. To the same point, you and I aren't making the decision. Andrew Barry is. But put yourself in Barry's shoes. All of these things that'll factor in, he's going to have to either make it, he's going to have, no matter what, after the season, the decision be made on Deshaun Watson. One of two things will happen after this year. Mark my words. They're either going to get rid of him, or they're going to sign him to a contract extension. That's it. That's it. All roads lead to one of those two outcomes. You're either going to sign him to an extension to spread that money out, and you say he did show us enough this year that we believe in him for the next 5 to 7 years, or we're done. We're done. We're going to have to cut him and eat that dead money, trade him off to somebody, whatever. There's only two outcomes for this.
It is a little crazy that it is still a very possible outcome for an extension.
Yes, 100%. 100%. What is that mark for Andrew Barry? What is that mark for Browns fans? I don't know. To me, it's pretty simple. Top 12 quarterback. I got to be able to say unequivocally that this season he showed that he could just be a top 12 guy. I don't put that at 3. I don't put it at 5. I just need a top 12 guy. That's it. That's it. And play meaningful football. You want to really get into the weeds on it? Yeah, I would like to see game-winning drives. I'd like to see him stretching the field. Like, those are real specific things that you can look at of what you need. Games that you say, we lose that game without Deshaun Watson. That's what you would love more than anything to see, is games that you get done and you go, thank God we had Deshaun Watson. Because you did that with Joe Flacco. There were games you got done, you said, thank God we had Joe Flacco in there. I just need that for Deshaun Watson. That's not meant to discredit the defense or anything like that. It's games you get done and you say, nobody else wins that game today except Deshaun Watson. Nobody else could have done what he did today to go win that football game for us. And especially late in December, those would be nice to have. So our questions are up.
That's just the so nuts part about the state we're at in football is, and maybe this is just a little, I don't want to say biased, but a little bit an anomaly because of Patrick Mahomes has just been dominating football the last 5 years.
Sure.
You're talking about Deshaun Watson being a top 12 quarterback. And then I go back and I think of the last decade, the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. I mean, like just to run through them, they've all been like top 5, top 3.
Sure.
It's mind-boggling.
Sure.
To think about just how exceptional you truly need Deshaun Watson to be to go win a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it's no different than go look at NBA titles. By the way, did you see that? It was a great question about now we know that we will not have a repeat winner again. What is it, the last 6 NBA champions?
Yeah, 6 years.
6 or 7 years? Well, this will be 7, I believe, right? Because we will not have a repeat champion. Anyway, 6, 7 years, you've not had a repeat. Our dynasty's dead. That was a great question posted about the NBA. But the same thing, you look back on star players. It's not a fluke that some of the best players that have ever played the game respectively have a ring. You know, they brought it up with Al Horford last night. I saw the graphic. He's played here's your trivia question. Did you see this? Last night about Al Horford. He has played the 3rd most playoff games in NBA history without winning a ring. Can you name the top 2?
Without winning a ring.
So the most playoff games played for individual players, and they never won a ring.
Well, I'm just gonna start naming people that haven't won rings. Charles Barkley.
It was not Chuck.
I don't think Carmelo's been to the playoffs that much.
No, he was not.
Chris Paul has to be in there.
No.
What?
He hasn't played that many games. Because again, that's the interesting question of like you would think when you always ask that question about the best players to never win a ring. Yeah. By the way, did you see that ref saying Chris Paul's an a-hole?
No.
Somebody came out, some former ref came out. He's like, Chris Paul's a jerk. But yeah, you would think of that's an individual talent level.
Right.
We're talking about guys that were perennially. Think about it, Al Horford's in the playoffs every year.
So none of these guys were like Allen Iversons. Like they weren't
no.
necessarily top 100 players.
Oh no, they're very good players. The top two. So again, the question is, Al Horford is third in NBA history for the most playoff games played without a ring.
Does Steve Nash have a ring?
Yes, he does. He won it with Dallas. It's not Steve Nash.
Without a ring, man.
So these two guys are connected.
Russell Westbrook?
No. Russ doesn't have one.
Paul George?
No. Think older. Because, again, they had played a lot of games. These guys are long retired. These guys are retired.
Long retired.
But they had a run of dominance with this team, and they just kept running into other teams, man.
Mark Price?
No.
It's not a Cav?
No. Karl Malone and John Stockton. Those Jazz teams, man.
Guess so, yeah.
And then even when Malone left and went to the Lakers. So, again, the most NBA playoff games played without a ring, Karl Malone and John Stockton were 1-2. And then Al Horford. Same thing, like Horford, even on those Hawks teams. And that's overall playoffs. That's opening round, Eastern Conference semis, all that kind of stuff. So you usually think the best players eventually go win rings, right? Football, yeah, I mean, quarterbacks, like you sit there and you basically bring up Dan Marino. But again, I think it's interesting when you think of football. The fact that almost every quarterback you would consider great won a ring, right? Like, think about that. Like, is there really somebody outside of Marino that you really say is great that didn't win one? At least one. I can't think of one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Now, there's an era right now where, like,
but you have to
I don't know about Trevor Lawrence. I don't know about Justin Herbert, right? I don't know about some of these guys where, again, are they going to ascend to it? Like, Bernie was great. Does have a ring, though, by the way, from Dallas. But, like...
Yeah, but he's nowhere near top 20 NFL.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is a true... That's a true measure.
You're absolutely right.
Of, like, the elite quarterbacks. They all won
The only quarterback that I can think of that you could legit make an argument that was top 20 all time that doesn't have a ring is probably Dan Marino.
That's it. I mean, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Cam. I mean, they put up great numbers, won MVPs, talking about Cam, but, like...
I don't think any of those guys...
They don't really hold a candle to some of these guys, right? Like, that's it. And that's why it comes back to the team knowing, dude, you got nothing if you don't have that guy. You've got nothing. You could try to create this and get your one off there with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. You could try to go back to those Buccaneers teams with Brad Johnson and whoever the Raider. Oh, God, what was the Raiders guy that they drugged to the Super Bowl? Rich Gannon. You know, you could try to tell. That's not where we're at. And I don't think that's where the NFL, frankly, has ever been at. So when it comes back to that, and the grand idea, like, dude, when they traded for Deshaun Watson, why did they trade for him? To go try to win a Super Bowl. Was it an upgraded quarterback? You believed it was. You thought it was going to be. And the thing is, you're then restarting that cycle. And that's the dangerous part about where this season could go, of hitting the reset button and have to start this all over again and trying to find that person. Don't really want to think about it, but that's where we're at. Flip over to some Cavs. So here's a little schedule update because we have Noah joining us at 10, so he's going to join us about 10 minutes. So we're going to do the grid in a couple of minutes. Quick update with where we're at the Cavs. I keep waiting, man. Like, you want to know else? As far as I know, and I've not seen anything, we don't have a day for the Kobe Altman presser. So the fact that they assumed it was going to be later this week. Well, it's Wednesday. So they got tomorrow and Friday. And I just assume that move will be done before that. Is today the day? I don't know. We'll see how it goes playing out. We'll get to around the association. We'll do that in the morning update as well, recapping that game last night. Oh, I thought this was interesting too. According to Apple Music, the top 10 albums of all time. You want to get to that later? Sure. Let's do it. But first, speaking of 10, well, we need 9. 9 for the Immaculate Grid. We welcome your help. We'll take the tweets at Matt Fontana 83, at Ryan Tyler 33. And we will also go to YouTube for all our comments there for the Immaculate Grid. Got to go up and down, left and right. I think there's some players that we maybe just discussed as quarterbacks that fit in today. Let's get to it. Immaculate Grid, go!
5,000 career yards rushing. Patriots.
I mean, you could probably go Kevin Falk. I would be
I
shocked
don't
if
even know who that is.
Yeah, he was like one of the guys on one of those. I mean, they just had to have played there, so you could put Zeke.
Oh, true.
You just put Zeke.
He's got to.
That's fine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah. So you can just put Zeke. There you go.
Marshawn?
Yeah, and he didn't play at either one of those other spots. And then, I mean, you go Eric Dickerson, that's fine.
He didn't play for the Broncos or Panthers?
Don't think so. Okay. Now we're into this. Here we go. Cam Newton. Oh, sorry. Well, did you have one for Broncos Patriots? I didn't mean to rip you off there.
I was just going to do Wes Welker.
Yeah, go Wes Welker. Then we'll do Cam Newton there for Patriots. Yep, there we go. Okay. Chosen Anderson didn't go to Seattle, did he? Right?
Broncos, Seahawks, Drew Lock.
Drew Lock.
Or Noah Fant.
Yeah, or Noah Fant. That works too. Very done. Very well. I just want to finish out Broncos Rams.
Aqib Talib?
Ooh, Ryan. Right? He played in LA. Yeah, let's go. What a pull. We don't get many DBs here.
Yeah,
and that's a good pull there, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, Panthers, Seahawks.
Ted Bridgewater?
Did he play for the Seahawks?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
him and Gino, I remember.
Yeah, yeah. I think you ripped Ted Bridgewater there. Teddy Bridgewater, right? No!
Did he not play for the...
He must have not played for Seattle. Right? Vikings, Jets, Saints, Panthers, Broncos. Gosh! No! Do you want to know something weird? I think Geno Smith is actually the answer to that one.
He was on the Panthers?
I think so. No, maybe not. Son of... Damn it. Does Jake Delhomme work there? Oh, he might.
Well, let's just get a Panthers Rams.
Yeah. Man. I don't think Ted works there. Ted Ginn. I don't think Brandon Cooks works there. Worked for the Rams, didn't work for the Panthers. I mean, Josh McCown played for the Panthers, but I don't think he ever played for the Rams.
We're off to such a good start.
Yeah. I thought Steven Jackson for a second, like, again, running back for the Rams. But I think he might have played all of his career. No, he went to the Falcons and the Patriots. Man.
Butt hurt.
Yeah.
I checked the YouTube.
It sounded so... Yeah, check YouTube. It sounded so damn good. Ted sounded... What?
Why do we never get this? Charles says they always forgetting too. Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
We just erase him from our memory.
Every time. Damn!
We do always forget Baker.
We always forget Baker. You're right.
Oh,
we
I'm
always
so
do.
mad.
Oh, man.
All right, Panthers, Seahawks.
Dalton.
Greg Olson. Russell Okung.
I should have got Greg Olson.
Damn it, dude.
What?
I'm just thinking, like, we were off to such a good start.
Yeah.
Bruce Irvin.
Yeah. Greg Olson we should have gotten. Should have gotten Greg Olson. Damn. Ted Bridgewater felt so good there.
Should we try and rip the NBA one real quick? Cavs are in it.
Cavs are in it. I did see it this morning. Quick, sure. Yeah, let's see what we got. We got a couple minutes here.
Cavs are in it, so...
All right. Hang on. Stop, reset, go. Can't do Andrew Wiggins there.
First round draft pick. Steph?
Klay Thompson. Or Steph. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Dallas, Luka.
God, I'm still so mad.
I know. I'm pissed, man. Ja Morant.
All right.
Kyrie.
Oh, for
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Now, Wiggins doesn't work there. Andrew Bogut works there for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, breaks his leg. He still works for the Immaculate
Memphis, Jeff Green.
Yeah. Uncle Jeff works for a lot of these. Wait. Because he definitely works for OKC. Wait, does he work for OKC Memphis?
Man, I don't know.
I don't think so. All right, just rip Jeff Green. That's fine. That's fine. All right, this might get a little dicey here.
OKC, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant.
OKC Dallas.
Because, yeah, of the star players, Harden didn't go there. Westbrook didn't go there.
Kendrick Perkins ever go there? Serge Ibaka ever go there?
Sir, yeah.
Did Steven Adams ever go there?
Steven Adams played in Memphis, did he not?
Oh, yeah, I know he played in Memphis, so we can rip him.
Yeah, we rip him there. He played in Memphis. Yeah, 100%.
One more. OKC
Dallas, OKC.
Dabo Cephalosha playing Dallas?
Yeah.
No, I got Did Danilo Gallinari play for them? No, I think he played for the Nuggets.
Danny Green.
He played for them?
I don't know if he played for OKC. I like your Thabo Cephalosha a lot. How the hell do you spell his name?
Thabo.
Right? Thabo Cephalosha. Thunder. No. Bulls, Thunder, Hawks, Jazz, Rockets. So not Thabo. I liked your Serge Ibaka, but that's a good one.
Thunder Mavs.
Yeah, actually, Serge doesn't work there. Mavs. That's a tough one. Yeah, we'll go back to the YouTube comments.
Angelo, wait, what do we need? Thunder Mavericks?
Yeah,
Steve
Thunder.
Novak, I think.
Okay. All right. I'll believe you.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Like, I'm really kind of... Yeah, that's a tough one, man. All right. I'll believe you. All right. Well done. Nice. Little redemption there. Damn. Ted Bridgewater ruining our Wednesday. It is what it is.
We should tweet him.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks a lot, Teddy. Way to go, man. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Should have taken him over Johnny Manziel. I'll just say that. I did not want Ted Bridgewater at all out of that draft either. Did not want him in that draft at all, but would have worked out better than Johnny Manziel. All right. Let's catch our break because we have Noah Weiskopf joining us. He's going to come up. We're going to talk about OTAs. We'll talk about Deshaun Watson. We'll talk Nick Chubb. Before we do any of that, do you have it? Not yet. All right. We'll get to our boost later with Tipico, folks. Get signed up. NBA action last night. I told you the over, and I told you I didn't like that 10 there. Actually, I did take them on 4.5 on an alt. 5, done. Turnovers late. We'll get to that game coming up, folks. Get in the action tonight. Let's go. Mavs, Wolves. I've had a flip. I kind of like the Minnesota Timberwolves to win
I
that
like
series.
the Mavericks.
I know.
Oh, to win the series?
To win the series. To win the series.
I think Dallas will.
Okay. What do we got tonight? Let me see here. Look it up here. Tipico, code Fontana 150 when you get signed up. 4.5 Minnesota, which you are at home tonight against Dallas.
Give me the Mavs.
All right, you want to go real quick. Tipico, here we go. Code Fontana 150 when you sign up. Here's what you do. You deposit $150. You will get for new customers, 2 $75 protected bets for the game tonight. 4.5, 206 is the over-under. How about some boosts here? Luka, 1 steal, 1 block, plus 167. Rudy Gobert to have 3 or more blocks, plus 193. Here's some spicier ones that I like. Doncic to hit 4 threes and the Mavericks win, plus 436. You want a little cross promotion here from sports? How about the state of Texas boost? Rangers to beat the Phillies in baseball, the Dallas Stars to beat the Oilers in the NHL playoffs, and the Mavericks to beat the Timberwolves. Ryan, that's plus 924 right now as a boosted parlay right there in Tipico. Folks, the cashback rewards is where it's at. You get signed up. Again, code Fontana150 for the new customers. You will be on your way for bets that you would normally place anyway. And you're getting the cash back. There's none of this stupid stuff about, oh, well, you get this token, you get a hat, or you get this, or you get that. None of you get money right back into your account. You're off to the races for your betting there on Tipico. I love the boost. I love the parlays. And we make ours every single morning here on the show. And we get it going for the baseball. Like, looking for a little afternoon delay. Let's do it! Come on now, guards! It's been spicy hot outside. Can I just... We need one today.
Yeah, we do.
We, the proverbial we got to see one go through. McKenzie, Hosey, just raking at the moment. We'll take the guards to sweep them on out. Ryan, what are we boosted to?
Plus 470.
Here we go. Tipico, all sports. It's so easy to navigate, too. Like, in 2 clicks, here I am. I'm in. Boosts. There's no. We'll have them right now. It's not even break. Boom. Done. $5. Log me in. Come on now. Done. In. Boom. Place to bet right there, folks. 3 legs for you. McKenzie, 5 or more strikeouts. Guards money line. Jose over bases. Here's what I like about McKenzie. I think, again, obviously we need the Guardians to win. You need some rest for that bullpen. They had to pitch a lot. Clase's pitched a lot. I'm kind of hoping for a big game here for the Guards. You don't even need the bullpen. Get McKenzie late into that game, so I like the strikeouts over right there. We got a couple other boosts up there as well. They're all, dude, there's a nerfy one here.
Let's do it.
Nerfy. Angels, Astros, Orioles, Cardinals, Mets, Guardians, Twins, Nationals. All 4 of those games under a run and a half plus 242. I love it, man. And, oh, that's an imperfect one, too. You just need 3 of the 4. And we need to see something coming here through. I'm betting that.
Can we bet on Deshaun Zip? How many miles per hour it is?
We can't because you can't get a book on it. We bring in Noah Weiskopf. Noah, how would you bet on Deshaun Watson's zip, knowing that the Browns are hiding him from the media today?
I bet it's got zip. I bet it's got some zip. It always does.
I bet he's got some, right? Like, he's got some, right? Noah Weiskopf joining us. OBR. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. Browns with Noah. Noah, I want to lay this out for you because we were in this conversation to start the show about Deshaun Watson and his shoulder. And at this point, we've heard everything is fine. We got some video of him throwing yesterday. And I have now taken the tact. I don't want to hear about the shoulder anymore. It is no longer a benefit of the doubt thing for me. It's no longer, frankly, a factor. And I understand that that's a little dangerous. I can do that, because I'm not Andrew Berry. I'm not even Deshaun Watson. Like, I can just sit here. No, I'm completely putting the shoulder to the side. I'm not worried about it. I'm not even thinking about it anymore because I know the importance of what this season is. I need him to play well. The shoulder is nothing for me. You get where I'm coming at? You feel like that's a dangerous thing to do, or do you kind of maybe start to agree that the shoulder is now something that's off to the side?
That's something that a lot of people are feeling right now. If you're Deshaun, you need to go out there and perform. Like, after the suspension, there was some time to knock the rust off, right? And then you keep giving these sort of little hurdles that he's going to have to get over. Just, we'll calm down. He needs some time to get back into it. But the belief within the building and obviously amongst fans is he's going to come back and week 1, he's going to be ripping it. And they need him to be at his best to be able to make this run that they want, and get to the Super Bowl. But the thing is, he doesn't need to be the top 5 quarterback for them to get to the Super Bowl. He needs to be, needs to.
I don't mean to cut you off, Noah.
No, you're good.
Give me, I have a number, and I've said this number for a long time. I just need a quarterback to be top blank to win a Super Bowl on any given year. I want to see if you have the same number as me.
I think that, ideally, top 10 would be awesome, but I think that you can even extend that out a little bit. I think that for Kevin Stefanski, right when he got brought in, right, they had Baker, and Baker wasn't playing too well. They brought in Stefanski, and the idea was that Stefanski's system can get Baker more comfortable. And I think that you can use that in an argument when you're talking about Deshaun as well, right? Like, if he can play at that little above average level, then you can get by with this receiving core. Hopefully the running game for them, continues to develop, and hopefully Nick Chubb comes back healthy and is able to be back to his normal self. And then obviously you still have the defense, and they've even added some pieces to the defense. You can't really see a way in which they regress unless it's that sort of road versus home splits and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't think that you necessarily need Deshaun to come in and be a top 5 quarterback. And I think that's the beauty of it for the Browns, is you're just asking for consistency.
Top 12 for me. So you were right with me, right? You said 10, you can stretch it out. I think on any given year, if you're a top 12 quarterback, I think you give your team a shot to win a Super Bowl. I do. Yeah. And that's all I need. That's it. And I'm not saying that can't slide, right? One year Watson could be 6, another year he could be 10. I think as long as you're in the top 12 conversation, you're working with something there.
If you're consistently above average, that'll get you to where you need to go.
Noah Weiskopf, OBR, Browns with Noah, Twitter and Instagram. Watson aside, what else for today? So we'll get a chance to hear from Kevin Stefanski. Other things that you're looking at, and I know Barry at OBR, he had a great write-up about it as well, things that we're looking at for OTAs. And we realize, like, this is just the lowest level of practice. They're getting up to speed. They're getting back into shape. But Noah, anything else that you're really keeping an eye on over these next couple of weeks?
I think it's going to be super interesting, the offensive tackle position, the 2 starters. You got 3 guys there that have experience starting, that honestly are expecting to come in and start. So one of those guys is not going to be able to start come week 1. And so I think that's super interesting to see who's starting to get those first team reps. Like I said, all 3 of those guys have the idea that they're going to come in and start, but you have Jedrick Wills and you have DeJuan Jones, and obviously their situations are much different, but both of them are rostered, and both of them, the Browns are comfortable in starting. So I think it'll be interesting to see that. And I also am excited to see, obviously, every offseason and every OTA training camp, you look to see Deshaun Watson, or obviously not today, but you look to see how those new wide receivers come in and the connection that they have built. I know that some of them have gotten together this past offseason or earlier in the offseason. So excited to see that. And then I honestly am excited to see the undrafted rookies. I know it's kind of weird to say, but I think that some of those guys are positioning themselves to make a run for the 53-man if they can continue to develop and continue to, stand out within practices, within training camp, within preseason.
Yeah, where'd Ronnie Hickman come from? And he was a guy, even Noah, that we talked about in training camp and saw the preseason, all the interceptions. There was a guy that you had circled, and more often than not, you do have some undrafted guy making your roster there. As far as the positions go, I do think it's interesting that we do enter this, where I was clicking through, and I think it was on NFL.com, and they had projected all 22 starters. And I say this, Noah, from like a position of strength is there's no question. I think your 22 starters, if you had to play a game tomorrow, are set. Yeah, the question might be if Michael Hall gets some rotation in there, maybe over Shelby Harris or something like that. But I just think that so much helps the coaching staff to be able to say, we know the guys we're working with. We can focus on the little tiny things, that these are the guys that are going to be in the rotation for us. Now, I'm not saying there won't be competition or there won't be position battles, like you said, about some of the rookies or even undrafted guys or fighting out for special teams and things like that. But when you know the guy, you can focus on that. And instead of saying, all right, this is an open field. And not only while we're trying to coach these guys, we're also trying to watch a competition. No, I don't see any of that across the board. Maybe offensive tackle. I would assume the Browns maybe have a plan of what they want to do there. But I look at the rest of the squad and I say, I'll fill up my all 22 right now. I know who's the starter.
And the front office is getting all these players and adding all these players to an already good roster from last year. And then you bring in guys, you have guys like Kevin Stefanski, a 2-time coach of the year at this point. You have Jim Schwartz, who proved what he can do with the defense last year. And then you bring in a proven offensive coordinator in Ken Dorsey. And so, without all those additions of players with what they already had, that's where they're really setting themselves up for a good year. And you just need it to all come to fruition on the field is what it always will come down to. And that's what it's going to continue. That's going to be the question, and it's not going to be answered until the season starts.
Noah Weiskopf, OBR, Browns with Noah, Twitter, Instagram. Great follow there for everything going on with the Browns. Nick Chubb, I got to tell you, I saw the video that I think a lot of people have of him running like on that upstairs kind of track. I'm not a doctor. I know that shocks nobody here. But like, I don't know. I'm taking it slow. As opposite as I am about Deshaun Watson, where I don't want to hear any more about the shoulder and I'm done. Kind of the opposite with Nick Chubb. I need a bit of good news there, and I really have a growing concern about the knee. Where are you at with Nick Chubb? Anything you've heard about his progress?
Well, they usually keep that stuff very quiet, especially with the Browns in terms of rehab and it's the same answer every time someone's asked about rehab within that organization. But ultimately, you know that he's working hard to come back. And I think it's important to note also that this is not the first time he's had to come back from an injury like that, right? Like when he got hurt at Georgia, I mean, I think that there were some people that thought he'd never play football again. And then obviously he comes into the NFL, does what he does. But I think that you're probably not going to get him back for a good chunk of the first half of the season. Obviously, no reason to rush it, especially with the running back position where it's going. There's no reason to run him into the dirt, get him there week 2, week 3. You want to be as mindful as you can, and I know that the Browns will do that, and their doctors are mindful of that. But the positive here is Nick Chubb has been doing all of his rehab with the Browns, especially he's not going to LA to get, one of these other doctors. He's doing everything with Cleveland, and so they're all 100% up to date. They know exactly where he's at, and so they have a plan for him as well. But yeah, I don't think you'll see him. Definitely not week 1, I would say, and then coming maybe before the bye, but that's probably an ideal spot is getting him in there before the bye and then giving him that week off to see how he sort of responds to maybe a week or 2 of playing, and then getting him for the rest of the year and that tough stretch of games at the end.
How many questions today about who's calling plays to Stefanski? Does he just shut it down after 1 and go, I'm not answering it? Does he just start his presser and go, guys, I'm not answering a question about calling plays because I don't know who it's going to be? No, I feel like that's the only question again, a big question for Andy Dickerson on that offensive line, but I feel like every offseason Kevin Stefanski's been here, man. It's been who's calling plays? Who's calling plays? It's always been him, and I'm going to assume it's going to be him again.
Yeah, I am actually not sold that it's going to be him, but I also don't know. I think that it's interesting because he's been asked that question every offseason, but I feel like at a different point every offseason he has an answer. I think that last year he had an answer for us at the Combine. We asked him this year at the Combine, nothing. And then so I don't know at what point that's gonna come. I'd assume he's gonna give it maybe a test run in preseason if he doesn't announce it today. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out Ken Dorsey calling plays. I think that he has that experience. He's done it at a high level, and Kevin obviously trusts him enough to bring him in, control the offense. I wouldn't be shocked either way, honestly.
Who are you most excited for the newcomers to see? Obviously, like you said, we're not going to see Watson, so there's maybe a little bit off of seeing Jerry Jeudy, but is it Jameis Winston? Is it Hall? Is Zach Zinter good to go coming off that broken leg? Is he going to be out there? So of all the newcomers, draft picks, or signees, is there anybody really excited to see out there?
Yeah, to answer your question, Zinter is all good to go.
Okay,
he
cool.
was full go at rookie minicamp. His first practice was the Friday.
Oh, that's right. I saw that. You're right. I saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm most excited for Michael Hall. He's in a really, really good position in terms of he's able to develop with a bunch of veterans on that defensive line, and he's going to be able to he's not going to have to play every down. They're not asking him to come in and start and play every down. They're going to be able to use him in the situations that he's best fit for. He's going to be able to rush the passer on third downs, and that's what he's best at. And they're going to be able to use a lineup like Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith on the outside. They can even move Obo Okoronkwo into the inside with Michael Hall on third downs. And so those are your 4 probably best pass rushers, and you're going to be able to have all 4 of them out there on third downs and not necessarily have to blitz to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's going to be I know Obo was coming out this weekend saying he wants the 10 sacks. Darius Smith cut his hair, by the way, which I think is it gets hot here in Cleveland, so I don't blame him. Kind of off of that, Noah, do you see anything else for this team to add? I get a lot of these lists of the 10 best available free agent veterans, right? And I keep circling Michael Thomas. There's just something about Michael Thomas. It's not even an Ohio State thing. If you got him on the right deal, I'll be very intrigued. The one article did have Yannick Ngakoue, another guy that always just seems to circle around the Browns, whether it's trade or offseason or anything like that. Do you feel like anything's possible? I know the Browns are a little short on the cap space there. They still have JOK's contract they have to do. Do you think there's something swirling out there? Do you think there's a position that we keep an eye on? Or do you think the Browns are just standing pat here until we get to training camp?
I think it seems like they're standing pat. I think the one position that nobody's really talking about enough is tight end. They lost Harrison Bryant in free agency. Obviously, David Njoku's the number 1 guy, the go-to. But after that, I mean, you have Jordan Akins, who's on a 1-year deal. He's no lock to make the 53-man. Or he was on a 2-year deal. He has 1 more year left. He's no lock to make the 53-man. You have Zaire Mitchell-Patton, who the Browns like a lot, who I got to talk to and understand where he's coming from. He had an exit meeting with Stefanski and made an exit meeting with Stefanski. He didn't actually have one. He wanted to talk to him, got some input on what he needs to work on. So I know he's coming in ready to compete for a 53-man. And then I mentioned undrafted guys. Trayton Welch is another one who they got out of Wyoming in undrafted free agency. He was Mr. Minnesota as a high school player, as a wide receiver. So he is an elite pass catcher. For him, it's going to be continuing to develop in the run game, but they also added Giovanni Ricci this offseason, who's sort of a tight end.
That fullback guy. Yeah, that's right.
Fullback hybrid. I was actually told that he's going to have a similar role as to what Harrison Bryant had when he was here, which I thought was really interesting.
Quarterback sneaks, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll sort of see at what point, if they bring in another tight end to solidify the tight end too, or they just sort of let an open competition happen there in preseason and in training camp and OTAs.
That's a good call there. Really good call. Noah Weiskopf here with us on Big Play. Noah, extensions for Barry and Stefanski. Bro, I thought they were going to happen at the Combine, to be honest with you. And here we are almost 3 months later. Still, we all know that it's kind of a formality at this point. I'm sure maybe they'll get to the break to hash things out. I don't know. Where do you think they stand with the Barry and Stefanski extension? It's great to say that we all know what's going to happen and we're not really that worried about it, but I still kind of just wonder when it's going to happen.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. I think there's a chance it happens before, the season starts. I think that there's also a chance that it's already happened and they just haven't announced it, right? Those sort of things sometimes are happen a couple weeks or a couple even months before they get announced because it's such a non-big deal because it's so expected and people know it's coming. But whenever it does come, no one will be surprised and they'll, sign their contract extensions and be the face basically off the field of the Browns because they've done a great job. And since coming in, they've worked so well together. The two are always on the same page and they, respect each other's boundaries. I know we always say he says that he'll never get involved with Andrew Barry in decision-making. And it's basically just Andrew Barry puts together the best roster. Kevin Stefanski coaches the best available players that he has. So that's really what it comes down to.
No, we haven't talked about the schedule. It's out. I know a lot of people, they're just interested to see. We're not going overseas, which is great. That gauntlet at the end of the year. We know we have a really tough schedule regardless of how it kind of laid out. Did you have any big takeaways when you saw the Browns 2024 schedule finally come out?
I think it sort of lines up. I think that you're able to have that first little stretch there for a Deshaun Watson and maybe even I don't know if Nick will be there for that stretch, but definitely for Deshaun Watson to continue to ramp himself up. I know we all are expecting him to come in and be 100%, and I know that's what the Browns think as well, but, you get that time to have some very winnable games to be able to continue to get him, playing his best football by the time after the bye week, that end of the season gauntlet comes around. But, yeah, I think that the bye week's in a pretty solid position. It's not too early. It's not late. So you have that right there in the middle, and then you're able to continue to build and ultimately, like I just mentioned, play your best football for those last 4 or 5 games of the year.
No, well, last one before we get you out of here. Listen, we all know the stars, but you mentioned the undrafted free agents. Is there one you actually see with the best chance to make the 53? And I got to ask my fellow Bearcat, Jawan Briggs. I mean, the D tackle room for the Browns is as solid as there is. Do you see any chance he makes that 53?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's always a chance, especially when they're drafted, especially with this regime, when they're drafted, I think there's always a chance. And he obviously is so physically gifted that I think that there's a way for him to develop into a rotational defensive tackle. In terms of 53 or in terms of undrafted guys, it's going to be, I think that a Winston Reed, a linebacker, I think that with the new kickoff rules, you can really expect a lot of linebackers, a bunch of bigger bodies who are faster to be able to line up on that 35-yard line. But I think that Trayton Wallace, again, is a guy that has that best opportunity. And I know a lot of these guys have sort of understood. Chris Edmonds is a safety as well. And the Browns' track record of keeping undrafted guys have lured a ton of these guys to Cleveland. They know that they have an equal shake at it. And, even a D'Anthony Bell, who's been on this roster for 2 years now, he's 27 years old, going to turn 28, I believe. He's an older guy. And so if a guy like Chris Edmonds out of Arizona State is able to come in and he's a bigger safety, if he's able to contribute on special teams, then that's a guy that can take over D'Anthony Bell's spot and even a Ronnie Hickman. And I know that they've kept those 3 guys in 2 years as undrafted guys. So those are these undrafted guys are automatically seeing that, realizing that, and wanting to come to Cleveland for an equal chance there.
No, really appreciate your time. Follow him on Twitter at Browns with Noah. Also Instagram, OBR. Appreciate you, man. And I can't wait to see how Stefanski answers the play calling question today. He knows it's coming, and I'm sure he's formulating a really smart answer to not give an answer on it.
Yep, 100%. Thanks for having me.
There he goes. Noah Weiskopf joining us. Always appreciate his time. Yeah, I mean, that's like and this town, we fall in love with undrafted free agent guys. You know, you fall in love with Ronnie. Everybody's got their training camp darling. Everybody falls in love with somebody in the preseason, and that guy sometimes can turn onto your roster and turn
Who
into
is that
something.
one tight end in Hard Knocks that everybody loves?
Devin Kajust.
Kajust, that's
Devin Kajust. He had the crystals. I almost said diamonds. He had the crystals.
Devin
God, who was that
Kajust.
quarterback that he took his lady friend to the Brogan Roback?
Yeah, Brogan,
Remember?
yeah. The quarterback trailer?
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. I miss Hard Knocks, man. I got to tell you, it has sucked since the year the Browns did it. And obviously we'll be more invested because it is the Browns. They're trying this offseason one with the Giants.
So I guess they're also doing a normal one too, I think.
Sure, this Giants one is meant to be like now, you know, and then they're going to do a training camp one. Even with the Jets, like you just got sick of Aaron Rodgers, didn't you? You were just like, I'm done. Of course, you know, I could have retired and gone and been vice president with okay, bro. He says he doesn't see his podcasting and all the other stuff that he does as distractions. He sees them as opportunities. You turn them into distractions, bro. That's what you do. Regardless, sorry, we're talking about Hard Knocks. Browns, dude, that was so good. It was so good. You had some weirdness to it. You had all the other stuff. I think it's taking a step back.
Just the in the office with Hugh, man.
The
Some
What's Up
weird
Sports fan
moments.
with Corey Coleman. I mean, you had like it was so perfect because you had Hugh and his weirdness. You had Todd Haley being a jackass. You had money advice with Carl Nassib. You had Devin Kajust with his crystals and stuff like that. Brogan Roback. The hype with Baker and Tyrod and all that other kind of stuff. It was so good. I watched the Rams one. You want to know the biggest thing I took away from the Rams one was their training facility. How weird it was. Like they basically had a field just under a roof, wide open, you know, sides of it. And I go, that's the other thing too. As a player, how do you not look at that and go, I would give every ounce of my soul to just go play in Cali, but then understand you have to pay 50% of your taxes. Like, you would love that, but at the same time, you're just losing money left and right because all the taxes. But yeah, Hard Knocks, because we don't have the team yet. Browns don't qualify because they made the playoffs. Not that I want them to have to deal with that anyway. But the pool is just, I don't know, it's a weird one. It's a weird one for Hard Knocks. I don't really care about the Giants offseason. I don't.
God, no,
I don't care. Malik Neighbors already ripping their jerseys.
Dude, yeah, that's unreal.
Isn't that crazy? Their draft pick, their first round draft pick is like, yeah, these jerseys suck ass.
I think he's yet to say like a good thing about New York.
He probably didn't want to go there.
No.
Which is weird because every mock draft under the sun had Malik Neighbors going to the Giants. You better you better make the best of it, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But sorry to him. I wouldn't want to play with Danny Dimes either. All right, let's get to the morning update. We got a lot of things to get to. Appreciate Noah with his time. And I got a couple things. I want to get into this draft. It's going to go to Pittsburgh. I want to discuss that. We got plenty coming up. Ryan's got the morning update. Please take it away. All right, here we go. Ryan's got the stories. Let's get to it.
All right, well, we do know the Guardians are the winners of 5
Yeah!
straight as they officially get the series win over the Mets, looking to sweep that tonight.
Today.
Or
1 o'clock.
today, I should
1
say.
o'clock. I don't know if they're actually going to play. Like, I keep watching the radar because I'm a dad. We're supposed to get slammed by storms. We're inside, but we have like a little, like, I don't think I've seen the storm come through yet. So they might get delayed or rained out for that. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
No, I mean, Tristan McKenzie gets the nod on the mound today. Hoping for good series sweep.
Yeah, that's it. I'm taking the Guardians minus a 1.5. So
Okay.
we'll ride. We'll ride.
All right, well, the Boston Celtics, they survive and get game 1 against the Indiana Pacers. Jaylen Brown with a clutch 3 to send it to overtime. Jason Tatum takes over with 10 points in said overtime. Boston avoids the upset.
Yeah, I mean, that one, you saw the Pacers on exactly what they, like, that game was a track meet for as long as it could go. And you got to give Boston credit for showing up and putting up the points. Now, going to overtime, especially after 3, I know everybody's freaking out about Rick Carlisle, who apparently called for them to foul Jaylen Brown before he hit the 3. And, you know, people are like, oh, he didn't put his players in place and all that other kind of stuff, whatever. But you saw the resolve of Boston. Now, what do you think Indiana's mental state is? Because if I'm the Pacers, you're probably sitting there going, crap. Yeah. We just let go our best opportunity to get a win in this. They're already Boston being the better team. Do you see the Pacers being able to bounce back? Like, that could be something that just they carry with them the rest of the way. You know, obviously in the playoffs, I try to remember, I can't look at the Pacers as the 6th seed anymore. They're in the playoffs. They're playing well. But also, you know, they did beat a shorthanded Knicks team. They do play one brand of basketball. They want to score a lot of points. But they then allow there's so many times that I even just saw Boston get Jason Tatum. And I know he went off and he had a lot of points in overtime, but like even in that first half, there was zero opposition for him just to get to the rack for easy layups. I'm actually shocked about Boston not being able to slow down the Pacers. And they did to start. What was it? They didn't score a point for like 5 minutes of the first quarter there. And then eventually they got off the schneid and they shot well. It's going to be those players like TJ McConnell. It's going to be guys like Peyton Pritchard. If I'm Boston, by the way, how badly do you need Kristaps Porzingis back just to get Al Horford off the damn floor?
Yeah, he had 15.
He jacks up 3. Bro, what was he from beyond the arc? 3 of 12? I don't want Al Horford attempting 12 threes in a game. And you won, and I get it, but still, I cringed every time he jacked up a shot. They need Porzingis back bad, and supposedly they might have an opportunity to get him back game 3 or game 4 or something like that. I'm not a Celtics fan, but my heart drops every time I see, they just kick it down, and he just looks around and goes, all right. Not good. Not good. You needed your stars to show up. You did that with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Great game from them. And then again, you mix in a little bit there from Drew Holiday. That was a big game for him as well. I think Pacers missed their best opportunity. Can they rebound from this? Can they set this aside and try to get after it in game 2? I don't know. We'll have to see.
All right. Well, yay or nay, Matt. The NFL is planning a trial that will put in an electronic system for measuring first downs. This is going to go during the preseason games. If the trial is successful and receives approval, it could begin as soon as the 2024 regular season.
One thing that I've never understood is the yellow line that I see on the TV. Why can't they just use that? And the old line had to be over and over and over again. The yellow line is not official and things like that. Why? Why can't it be that way? And the chain gang is just so antiquated. It's so old. It's so stupid, right? In today's day and age, I'm sure, Ryan, they could put technology in just to be like, just to put it down, a line on the field. Because the one thing that I don't think you can get rid of, you need to have some sort of marker on the field. Because you see players all the time look up and see where the first down marker is. Like quarterbacks running out of bounds, they reach the football out, or a wide receiver tiptoeing, or a defensive back coming up saying, I got to stick this guy, the first down's right there. So it's not that you need to get rid of the marker. You need that for the players, but don't use that as the rule. Like that's the line. The thing is the optical, right? So this is not even something that they've talked about of putting chips in the football, which they have done, right? Like they have chips on the players' pads, all this other kind of stuff. Do that. Have it run. And the other reason why you should keep the marker, for ones that are very clearly obvious, you look over and the ref goes, first down. You don't got to think about it. But ones that are close, get in their little earpiece. I don't even know I can't even think of any NFL referees right now. Dean Blandino. He's not even in there anymore. Right. Cleet Blakeman. Hey, Cleet, first down. Mark, Roger, first down. 10-4. Move it on. First down. You don't got to think about it.
No more using index cards?
Yeah, that one. The one, somebody posted the video of it, of like when the bottom fell off and then the chain came off. They're sitting there, they're fumbling with it. You got $1 billion industry that's made up by 10 yards of a chain link fence. Not chain link fence, but chain link on that. Seems not smart. I'm glad they're trying this. And I would think that there is, it comes back to like the baseball thing about the robo-umps. I would assume the players and the teams want that because it's a more pure game. Now, the other side of it is part of baseball is working a count or working the umpire's strike zone and things like that. I think the NFL is completely different, man. As much of this as you can get, as much of the eye in the sky and the technology that you can get, do it, use it, it'll make the game. Now, the thing is it's going to drag the game down. We already play 4-hour games. Is this going to drag the game down even further? I hope not. Make it that easy, right? It's a first down or not. Cleat, first down, move it on. That's it. That's all I ask. The optical thing, I'm interested to see how that technology works, but I'm all for it.
All right, lastly here for the morning update, the NFL is slowly taking over the world next. They're planning on maybe moving to Australia down under.
That's bad.
Could happen as soon as the 2025 season. This article says, quote, although the logistics would be complicated, it would be impossible. It wouldn't be impossible. There's a 14-hour time difference. They say at the NFL game kicked off at noon on Monday in Melbourne. It would be a 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time kickoff here in the United States.
Here's what you would have to do. Well, let me start on Australia. I think there's actually more of a connect there than Europe. You have how many rugby guys, punters, that Jordan Mailata, who's the guy that just signed with the Chiefs that everybody's talking about from the rugby. Like, Australian rules football and rugby, very massive. I'm not saying rugby's not big in Europe, but you have a lot of Australian guys. You're right, Cameron Johnston, Ohio State punter. He's in the league. He's Australian. So there's a little more of a connect. Here's what you would have to do. You would have to send 4 teams. It's exactly what they're going to do this year with New Year's and Christmas. You designate 4 teams to go. Team A plays Team B, Team C plays Team D, and then the following week, Team A plays Team C, and Team B plays Team D. And that's how they're going to rotate this with the flip of the home games there. So everybody gets a home game. Down there, it won't matter. But then you're talking about, you're losing Monday Night Football, right? If you play to your exact point of a noon on Monday, which is then 9 o'clock here, you still would have to play a doubleheader. Unless you say our Sunday and Monday night games are these Australian games. Then you have no choice but to give all 4 of those teams a bye on the way back. How the hell are they going to get there, too? That's a whole day worth of travel. You want to know what? The NFL doesn't care. They see this as a new market. They see this as new money to be made. They'll tell the players, don't care, get on the damn plane.
I'd be a fan of the Kangaroos if that was a team.
Oh, never. You talk about not making Europe work with a team permanently there. You ain't making it Australian. Yeah, what would they be called? Fighting Steve Irwins? Trying to think just things Australia.
What if eventually they went so worldwide where it's like the AFC and NFC, you have the United States and then the world?
The international?
Mm-hmm. Like soccer almost.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you would need to, you're not taking away current, what would you have, a 64-team league?
Yeah. March Madness it.
I mean, that's the idea. I mean, that's maybe what the UFL should be, international. And then that's that feeder system that we talk so much about. With the NFL, I think they understand their bread and butter will always be the United States. As much as they try to hype it up in Europe, they care about soccer. As much as you try to hype it up, like, it's a spectacle, it's an event that people go to, they really don't care about American football that much. That much. Your bread and butter, your season ticket holders, your merch, the TV viewing, the money coming through that is all going to be, just focus on that. These seem like little side project. You know when a guy leaves a band or a girl leaves a band and they go, I'm going to start a side project. Okay, great. You're going to come back to the original band eventually because that's where the money is at. Did anybody actually listen to Angels and Airwaves when Tom left Blink-182? A couple of good songs, not great. Go back to Blink-182. Eventually he did. I was there. I saw him. It was great. You could start all these side projects all you want in Australia and England. You know where your money lies. It's in the United States. Real quick, report out that Pittsburgh is going to be getting, they're cautiously optimistic that they're going to get the future NFL draft, potentially the 2026 slot, and clarity should come this week at the owners' meetings in Nashville. Watch for some news coming out, maybe stadium, maybe something else. I don't know. The 2026 slot is open. Here's what you do for the NFL. Tell me if you think I'm wrong on this.
Okay.
Rotating the NFL draft to the non-Super Bowl cities. I don't think I missed any, but let's run through it. Here would be your Super Bowl cities. These are cities that get the Super Bowl, they don't get the draft. Your 3 Florida teams, your 3 California teams, your 2 teams in Texas, Arizona, and Atlanta.
And Vegas.
And Vegas. I'm sorry, and Vegas.
And New Orleans.
And New Orleans. I'm glad I brought this up for you. There's your Super Bowl teams. Your draft cities then would be Cleveland, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, the 2 New York teams, Nashville.
The 3 New York teams.
I was going to say Buffalo, separate. Sorry, the 2 New York City teams.
There you go.
And then Buffalo. Seattle, Chicago, Carolina, Kansas City. I think that's everybody.
Did you
Minnesota.
say Super Bowl? Minnesota Super Bowl.
Minnesota Super Bowl. Minnesota Super Bowl. Sure. It's a semi-even divide there. I think that's how you could do it. And we know the commerce that it brought here. I hope Cleveland gets another one in the future to kind of redo the one we had in 2021 after the COVID and all that kind of stuff. Sure. But I'll listen to that. I think that's fair. And then am I trying to call off the dogs about the dome here? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Your guy, what's his name again? Robert, the architect?
Robert Corner.
Yeah, he's all over the place now. He was on Fox 8. I know we talked about it yesterday, but it's getting picked up. We had Robert on with Bruce weeks ago.
Yeah.
Talking about
We're
the
the
hexatrons.
first.
Out into the lake. Hey, man, I'm open for anything. Anything that keeps the Browns downtown, I will do. I'm happy to do that. If it means going out into the lake, means sacrificing a little perch fishing, I'll do it. That's so be it, fine. But we'll see. Because, again, owners' meetings going on. Draft going around. See how it goes. All right, let's catch a break. Our final one. When we come back, we'll jump into timeout. This story out of college football where players suing a former school they didn't even go to. And our picks for tonight. Not in for the Guardians. We'll get to the NBA playoffs tonight. All comes your way next. Fontana Show. Stay with us.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. And you saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, shoving a little bit of time up here. 22nd of May. We'll go back in history and tell you what happened on this day, including 2 years ago today. Jadeveon Clowney re-signs with the Browns on a one-year deal worth up to $11 million. And there was a report that he turned down deals of $14 to $15 million a year to re-sign with the Browns. Okay. that first year, what do you get, 9.5 sacks, somewhere close to 10, something like that? And you believe that you might be able to have a guy run next to Myles Garrett. I will just tell you this, of what I saw in there, he wore out his welcome extremely quick. And it took a year. The first year was fine. That second year, I saw a little different Jadeveon Clowney.
Him and Za'Darius are totally opposite personalities.
They are. And Clowney, who's a great guy. I loved talking to him. He was open with the media. He spoke to us. He was a funny guy, all that. There became a real disconnect with him and Myles about something. And I try to put my finger on it. I'm not trying to bring up drama. This was 2 years ago, whatever. But when Clowney was missing practice, when Myles had to make comments about basically asking Clowney if he was going to practice today, Clowney, I would fight through injury earlier in my career and it only set me back. I'm not saying guys should fight through injury. If you can't play, you can't play. But, it got to a weird spot with Jadeveon Clowney, And it just... Listen, they moved on. You tried. I think it's been one of the biggest things about the Browns. They haven't been able to find that other guy to run with Myles Garrett. And you hope maybe it's Za'Darius Smith. You mix in Obo Okoronkwo. I'd like to see that run back a little bit, sure. Myles is still a dominant player. He's the reigning defensive player of the year. I get it. Trying Clowney didn't work quite all that well. And like I said, I don't think it ended all that well with his time here in Cleveland. We go all the way back to this day, 2011, as Drupal Cabrera has 2 home runs, becoming only the 5th shortstop in Major League Baseball history to have a 5-hit, 2-home run game. I'm going to try to Google to see the other 4. I'd love to do this as a trivia question.
Oh, God.
MLB shortstops, 5-hit, 2-home run game. All right, Bobby Witt had 2 home runs in a game not too long ago.
With 5 hits?
I don't know. I'm not going to be able to find this. There's no way I can find this. Yeah. MLB shortstops have a 5-hit, 2-home run game. Nope, not going to be able to find it. But I can just tell you that as Drupal Cabrera was one of 5 to do it this day, 2011. For the second time in a season, Barry Bonds hit a home run in 6 straight games. That happened this day, 2001. Could you imagine twice in this early of the season having a home run in 6 straight games? I saw he's getting into the Pirates Hall of Fame. Hope he enjoys it. It's the only Hall of Fame he's getting into. This day, 1996, Albert Bell's 21-game hit streak has come to an end. Ain't nobody getting to 50, let alone 52. This day, 1992, Johnny Carson made his final appearance on The Tonight Show. We mentioned that Amelia Earhart and Charles Lindbergh began their transatlantic solo flights. What was that, yesterday or the day before they started it? They ended it. This day, 1932. This day, 1927. They both landed in New York.
Well, I don't have the full list, but Struble, when he did that in 2011, it was the first time since 2000.
Barry Larkin?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the article from it. I don't know, again, who else did it. That'd be something to pull there for ESPN stats and info. This day, 1922, the Yankees started construction on Yankee Stadium. Do you think they'll ever tear down Fenway? Think regularly they'll get torn down? I think eventually they have to.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually you just have to. You can't. You got to expand out.
Too much money to keep it up.
And if Yankee Stadium eventually had to go, I think everything is going to have to go one day. This day, 1911, Boston pitcher Cliff Curtis set a major league record by losing his 23rd straight game. 23. He'd been demoted in today's day and age, but had lost his 23rd straight game.
I could do that.
Yeah, so could I. This day, let's get to birthdays now. Tommy John, formerly pitcher but known for his surgery. Fair Hooker, a former Browns wide receiver.
Fair Hooker?
Fair Hooker was his name. Jose Mesa, Julian Tavares, Sean Thompson, former Browns linebacker, Julian Edelman, Novak Djokovic, Lowry Markkanen, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Daniel Bryan, and Sean Gunn all celebrating birthdays today. All right, 2 movies for you today.
Hold on.
What?
I just got this alert from Shams.
What?
Apparently DJ Burns, you know DJ Burns? He was the big kid at North Carolina State in this March Madness run.
Yeah. Everybody wanted to go. Thought he was going to go to the NFL.
This report just says from Shams, DJ Burns told Shams that he's lost 45 pounds in the last 6.5 weeks. He said no Ozempic. He's just been doing workouts 4 days a week at 5 a.m.
What was he doing before then?
45 pounds in 6.5 weeks?
I mean, once you start getting rolling, he's got to be doing
no Ozempic. That's hilarious.
No Ozempic is pretty funny. Then if you're like intermittent fasting and if you really get after it, sure, I could see that, but that's a lot. 45 pounds in 6 weeks, that's like borderline unhealthy.
That is.
So obviously he's not going to the NFL.
There's no way you retain muscle doing that losing weight that quickly.
Fast.
No way.
So he must be saying, I got to go NBA here. Or is he still in the transfer portal?
I don't know.
Didn't he leave there? Everybody thought he'd go to the NFL. You can't do that. You're not losing that weight, not going to the NFL.
Yeah.
So he must be all in on basketball. Hey, man, good for him. We'll see how it goes. All right, 2 movies for you today. We head back to a film that was released this day, 1998. This film details the main duo in this, and their journey through a particular city as their initial journalistic intentions devolve into an exploration of this city under the heavy use of psychoactive substances. I can't say the city because the city is in the title of the movie. So again, a duo's journey through this city began as their initial journalistic intentions, but eventually devolved into exploration of the city under heavy use of psychoactive substances.
Oh, is Bill Murray in this?
No.
Can you describe it one more time?
A duo begins a journey through this particular United States city as their initial journalistic intentions eventually devolve into an exploration of the city under a heavy influence of psychoactive substances. Few very famous scenes in the car of these two.
No idea.
Dr. Gonzo?
Oh. Fear and Loathing
in Las Vegas. Well done. I'll give it to you. Well done. Fear and Loathing. He's driving in the car. He gets all paranoid and freaking out.
Thompson, right?
Yeah. You want? So the Rum Diary is the other. Like Johnny Depp, obviously. I think didn't he pay for Hunter S. Thompson's funeral? Am I missing that? I think he did. Hang on. Stand by. Passed away in 2005. Unfortunately, we all know how. That's it. In a private funeral, Thompson's ashes were fired from a cannon with blue, red, and green fireworks. An estimated 280 people were at Hunter S. Thompson's funeral, including John Kerry, Ed Bradley, Chris Rose, Jack Nicholson, John Cusack, Bill Murray, Benicio del Toro, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Sean Penn, Josh Hartnett, musicians Lyle Lovett, John Oates, amongst others. And I swear to God, I thought Johnny Depp paid for it. Yes, that's it. Yeah, okay. According to Hunter S. Thompson's widow, the $3 million funeral was funded by actor Johnny Depp.
$3 million funeral?
They fired him out of a cannon. What do you mean? Was paid by Johnny Depp, who was a close friend of Thompson's. Depp told the Associated Press, all I'm doing is trying to make sure his last wish comes true, and I want to send my pal out the way he wants to go out. Write that down. Put that tab on for Ken and Dave. I want to be shot out of the cannon when it's all said and done.
All right.
Shoot me out into the lake. All right? I'll fertilize some areas for the fish. How about that? Yeah, Johnny Depp did that. Fear and Loathing. So the other one, obviously, was the Rum Diary.
Yeah.
And that was, obviously, they got married after that. But, dude, Amber Heard in that, oh, my God. Holy cow. Trippy film. I mean, again, it's Hunter S. Thompson. What do you expect? But Fear and Loathing is so good, too. But the Rum Diary is another one, too. All right, 1 for 1 for Ryan. We go to our final film of the day. Debuted this day, 1996.
Okay.
This movie spawned a very impressive and incredible film series that is still going on. films coming out in 2000, and obviously this day, 1996. 2000, 2006, 11, 15, 18. We just got one last year, and we get another one next year of this film series, which began this day, 1996.
That was probably too early for Fast and Furious.
It was. This was a continuation of the 1966 film of the same, of television series of the same name, and a 1998 sequel series. It is the first installment with an ensemble cast. It follows a man. In the film, the main character seeks to uncover who framed him for the murders of his most important team. But I can't say the actual name of the team. The IMF.
Mission Impossible?
That is correct. The Impossible Missions Force. Ethan Hunt framed and has to... I've never seen it all the way through.
Yeah.
I've never seen... I just know the scene where they give the guy a pill so he goes, throws up, and he's sitting there in the beaded sweat, ving rames and all that. Never actually seen it. I've seen that scene, but I'm not... And then the big one, was it the last one or the one before that Tom Cruise was on the side of the plane? And then, you see the CGI, he jumps the motorcycle off like he wanted to do all of his stunts and that kind of stuff of Mission Impossible. So you got Mission Impossible in 96, Mission Impossible 2 in 2000, 3 was in 06, Ghost Protocol in 11, Rogue Nation in 15, Mission Impossible Fallout in 2018, and Dead Reckoning Part 1 in 2023. I'm assuming Dead Reckoning Part 2 will be the one that we get next year. Hey, man, you can keep making films like that, and you're going to make a bunch of money off of it?
Might as well.
So be it. So that's how it goes. Speaking of a lot of money, Ryan, let's get to it for tonight, NBA playoffs. What do we got? 4.5 on the side of the home team, Minnesota Timberwolves. I've had a little bit of a flip. I was leaning very much Dallas. Do you want to know what, because I was thinking about, obviously I think about the show every morning and most the rest of the day. I was driving in this morning. I was like, man, what's going to be my pick? Because we had to shoot some stuff for Tipico this morning, so we did that. And I was like, man, I got to make my pick. And I was leaning so much Dallas. Do you want to know what kind of flipped me to Minnesota? They beat the better team in the semis. That's no shot at OKC. They beat the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming. So we got it at 4.5 for tonight. Let's get to our trends. Dallas is 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games. They're also 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games on the road. Here's what you don't like. They don't play Minnesota all that well. Dallas is just 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games against the Timberwolves. And they are 1-6 straight up in their last 7 games when playing on the road against Minnesota. Over-under in this one, Dallas under has hit 10 out of their last 15 games. You flip it over for Minnesota. Speaking of the under, which again is, 206? The under has hit 7 out of their last 9 games between the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota 8-3 against the spread their last 11 games, 8-3 straight up in their last 11, and they are on a 10-4 straight up run in their last 14 games at home. You want your day trend for this one, Ryan? Mm-hmm. Minnesota is just 2-4 against the spread. Their last 6 games played on a Wednesday at home. Ooh. Make you sway a little bit? You make you think about it a little bit?
No.
I think... I don't like that low over-under. I might cop out and take the under in this one. 206, man. The trends tell you under, and I'd like to believe that these two teams might be a little tired after their series. Overall this season, Dallas is averaging 116 points a game, and Minnesota's averaging 112. Ugh. Last 3 games, Minnesota is 2-1 against Dallas, an average aggregated score of 219. 116 scored for Minnesota, 104 given up for Dallas in the last 3 games between these two squads. I'll let you go first here, Ryan. What do you like?
I'm taking the Mavericks. I believe those stats, those games were before they made their trade deadline moves.
Yeah.
I'm taking Dallas.
Are you taking them on the money line or taking plus the points?
I'll take them money line.
I'll join you on that. Folks, get signed up with Tipico. Get your bets in now using that code Fontana150. Deposit $150. You will get two $75 protected bets with that code for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER and get going for tonight. You're on your way to the cashback rewards on that, so we'll take Dallas plus the 4.5.
Yeah.
Take them on the money line maybe too. Plus 4.5. Wise man once say, if you're given points, you take them. So we'll take them plus the points. How about this? Buddy. Mavericks money line, Luka to get a triple-double plus 975 on Tipico.
I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's Luka.
I like that. They got the WNBA boost up. You want a Caitlin Clark boost for tonight? Caitlin Clark, 5 assists, 20 points, 5 rebounds, plus 371. Fever taking on the Storm tonight. Seattle, 10 o'clock. See if we can get you some other savory boosts for this game tonight. Of course, you can always go make your own, too. Hang on. Same game parlay. It's not what I want. I want boosts. I don't know, man. I like that Luka money line. How about him to hit 4 threes? If they're going to win, that would have to be it. That's plus 428 this morning here. Huh. It's going to be fun to see him. I give a lot of credit to Minnesota for beating Denver. I keep wondering if it's sustainable with Dallas. It's just Kyrie and Luka. That's it. I keep crapping on PJ Washington. I keep crapping on all these other. It's just those two guys. And then you think about the collective. The only thing about Minnesota, which is maybe going to lean me towards your pick of Dallas tonight, do they have a giant emotional letdown? Game 7, you beat the favorite. Can they handle it? They're back at home. Dallas backs against the wall. Maybe I'll join you there in your plus 4.5. Right. Do it with Tipico. Let's get signed up. Get after it, guards. One more time? One more time for the people?
Yeah.
It's good news. Good vibes. Let's go. McKenzie, strikeouts. Jose just hit me a double, man. 2 walks. I don't care how you do it. Get 2 bases. Guardians money line. We're boosted up over 400, right, Ryan?
Plus 470.
All right, close to 500 there with Tipico. Get it done today for the guards. They're going to have to avoid some raindrops. We'll see how it goes. Drennan tonight, I know that because I'm going to join Bruce. I'll jump down there, do a little conversation there with Bruce. Excited about that. So you got Drennan tonight with bonus time. You can always go back. All of other shows. You had Enter the Jungle, Bengals. You had were they giving you crap about putting mayo on a hot dog yesterday?
Yeah.
I love mayonnaise. I don't want to think I put it on a hot dog, though.
It's delicious.
I almost won't have a burger if I can't put mayonnaise on it.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Mayo on a burger, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I don't know about a hot dog. I think I'm knocking it because I haven't tried it. Maybe I need to try
I'm
it.
a very weird combination guy.
What's your weirdest combination? Do you have one?
I mean, I like eat. I don't even think it's gross to me. It's not gross at all. But I eat, like in the morning, I try to eat eggs all the time.
You
It's
put
really
ketchup
good
on
for
it.
you. No, I hate ketchup.
What?
I eat, and they're a little dry, so I like to have something. I eat them with hummus. That's actually very delicious. It's very delicious. Very delicious. Very delicious. Also, I put tuna in my eggs sometimes. Very good. Very good.
Do I need to be checking your crawl space for some?
Have you ever
body?
tried it?
I like tuna with mac and cheese.
Have you ever tried eggs with hummus?
No, but here's the funny thing. It's now giving me idea of something to feed our kid, the baby. She likes hummus. She likes eggs. I'll have to just mix them together.
I think it's delicious.
I do tuna with macaroni and cheese because then it's like tuna. Let's take a tuna casserole. You know what I mean? Eggs with tuna, though? And I like tuna fish. Don't get me wrong. I don't know about that.
I'm trying to eat uber healthy, so I got to
I sure. You got to do what you got to do, but that's a little out there for me. All right, appreciate everybody joining us. We're back tomorrow, Thursday edition. Get it done, guards. Call my shot. I think today's the day for the Cavs. Okay. I think today's the day for the announcement. So maybe we'll talk about that a little tomorrow as we get geared up for a holiday weekend. No show on Friday, so we're going to wrap things up. Finish it out strong tomorrow. Get it done, guards. Go Mavs. We'll talk to you tomorrow. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana, and as always, take it easy.